Hi, this is Ashley Culver and I have a postpartum core recovery program coming at you. This is workout number 1. Follow along. We're going to start with some core recovery. Regardless of whether you have Diastasis Recti, this is Diastasis Recti safe. And even if you don't, our core is very weak postpartum, and these are the steps that are going to help make your core strong. So we're going to start by doing some 360 breathing. This is one of my favorite exercises to bring the core back together nice and strong. So you're going to place your hands around your rib cage and you want your fingers on your back. And we want to take a big 360 breath. This is called 360 breathing. 360 breath means I want the stomach to expand forward, sides, and into our back. That's why we have our hands here for a cue. And the chest should not be rising. Our diaphragm's right here, so we want to focus on essentially making our stomach as big as possible as we breathe in. And then as we breathe out, I'm going to just vocalize the breath so you guys can hear. We're going to think about shrinking our stomach and shrinking our core. So you want to think about your core kind of like if you're pulling on a corset. You want to really draw the core muscles in towards your belly button. So we're going to do this together. I'm going to vocalize my breathing just so you can hear it and you can kind of get a better understanding of it. You can make the noise. I find it helpful. You don't necessarily have to if you're doing this in public or whatever. So wrap those hands around or just under your rib cage. Take a nice deep breath and we're going to blow it out. Draw in your core until every last breath is out. It should feel like somebody is punched you in the stomach at the end, or like you're burnt out of a crunch. I'm going to show you from the side next so you can kind of see how big my stomach gets. So you want to make it nice and big, kind of like when we used to pretend like we were pregnant when we were a little bit, blowing out our belly before we were actually pregnant. Blow it out. Shrink it, shrink it, shrink it. Till there's nothing left. Keep going, we're going to do a few more. Now we're going to do a 2-breath exhale. It's the same idea, except we're going to get rid of all the breath in 2 exhales. One quick, one long to get the rest of the breath out. So I'll show you what that looks like. Again, place your hands just under the rib cage and blow out a little bit. Get the rest out. Nice deep breath. One more. Okay, for the last part of our core recovery, we're going to work on pelvic floor activations. I want you to think about your pelvic floor in 4 different sides because our pelvic floor connects 4 different places. So you have the front of your pelvic floor, which is the same feeling that you have when you do a Kegel or when you like stop urine flow. You have the sides of your pelvic floor, which I like to think about feeling by sitting on my sit bones and thinking about drawing my sit bones in. So you have the pelvic floor part attachments on the side, and then you have the back of the pelvic floor, which is essentially the same thing that we use in order to stop passing gas in public. So in order to do a proper pelvic floor activation, we have to identify all 4 of those spots, and we have to draw all of those up at the same time. But go ahead and sit on your sit bones so that you can feel those. We're going to take a nice deep breath, and I want you to try to draw up the pelvic floor. Try to identify all those spots, and we're going to kind of do it like a pace like this. Draw up and release. You want to release as much as you draw up so that we're strengthening and we're relaxing, because sometimes the trauma from our pelvic floor, it creates tightness. So we also have to be able to relax it. So whenever my hand is flat, we're relaxing. When it's up, we're drawing up. and just try to identify all of those spots and pull the pelvic floor up and down. We're gonna quickly go through them in a circuit, so follow along. We're gonna do 8 360 breaths. So place those hands underneath the rib cage. Nice big breath. That's one. 2. Nice big breath. 3. Nice big breath. Blow out, blow out, blow out. And 5. We got 3 more. Last 2. Draw all those core muscles in, tight like a corset. Last one. Good. Next, we're gonna do that 2 breath exhale, and we're gonna go for 8 of those as well. So I really want you to punch that first one and then blow every last little bit of breath out, and the core should be very drawn in at that moment. You should feel like if somebody was gonna punch your stomach at the end of your breath coming out, they would hit a rock, okay? Nice big breath. That's 1. 2. 3. 'Keep going, we have 3 more. Last one. Nice. So with all these exercises, you might find that we're in the seated position now, but if this isn't comfortable for you, or if you have a hard time kind of connecting and identifying with your core muscles, or when we get to the pelvic floor, your pelvic floor, there's lots of different ways that we can do this, which you'll see in this series. But just so you know, for now, you could be on all fours, you could lay down, you could be sitting on a couch. You can literally do this anywhere, which was one of the brilliant things about it. So even though we're doing it for this workout, consider these exercises your PT, because you need to be doing this as much as you can in order to really get your core back. Once our core is back, we'll be able to hit the ground running. So the more you can do this, the more quickly you'll recover. So let's get to those pelvic floor activations. I'm gonna cue you up, drawing the pelvic floor up with my hands, and then we're flattening out the pelvic floor with my hands flat. And don't forget to sit on your sit bones so you can kind of feel them drawing in, okay? Up, squeeze, and relax. Up 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 and relax. I like to tell my clients postpartum they should practice these whenever they're sitting on the toilet because you're already there. You've already kind of identified some of those things because you're just peed or whatever. So you can sit there and do a few of these every time, and that's just when you're postpartum, you're peeing quite a bit. So it's a good time to work on it. Okay, so now we're gonna move into a little bit of a warm up, and I'm gonna have you guys start with some cat-cow. So let's go ahead and get onto all fours. This is really great for just like body recovery. So we wanna be on all fours with the palms underneath the shoulders, knees are hip width apart underneath our hips. And toes can either be flat or dug in like this. I prefer to kind of dig them in, but you can pick your poison. We're gonna tuck our chin in towards our chest and we're gonna arch our spine up. And then we're gonna relax and look all the way up to the ceiling, reverse it. So we're gonna cat and cow. We're gonna do about 10 of these. Move at your own pace. Gonna help reduce all that tension in the low back, in between the shoulders from holding the baby, feeding the baby. This is such a great exercise. I want you to think about looking up towards the ceiling, and when you're pulling the core up and arching the back, think about pushing your palms through the floor to just get that extra little bit of stretch in between the shoulder blades. And then just really relax that and reverse it. The other way, last one, really arch up. Good, next, I'm gonna show you in this direction. We're gonna stay in our all fours, but we're gonna kickstand out one leg. So I'm gonna bring one leg out just as long as feels comfortable for your mobility today. So yours might not look like mine, but this is gonna be a really great exercise for reducing discomfort in the hips. And so we're gonna get going. I'm gonna have you rock your butt back towards your heel and rotate your toe up. And then come back onto all fours. Rock the butt back and rotate the toe. We're gonna do about 8 of these on each side. Really see if, as you start to loosen up, you can get even more range of motion. I'm really tight on my right side, so this is like, whew, but it feels really good. So yours might not look quite like mine, and that's okay. One more, and then I'm gonna have you switch. And rock back. See, this side's a lot easier for me. Maybe you notice that you're a little tighter on one side too. Anytime we have a lot of tightness on one side and not on the other, we really put our bodies at risk for injury and, discomfort, obviously. So good to identify and to kind of work out those kinks in that side. Let's do 3 more on this side. One more. Awesome. Hope you're starting to feel a little bit warmed up. We're gonna do our last part of our warm up. I'm gonna have you come to your back. And we're gonna go for some glute bridges, which are just gonna help kind of activate our glutes. So I would like you to have your feet hip width apart. Before we do anything, I want you to feel underneath your spine and notice that gap between your spine and the floor. I want you to get rid of that. Push the spine into the floor and notice how that turns the core on. So we want to have that activity in our core and that feeling the whole time. So keep the spine nice and neutral there and the core activated. We're gonna push through the heels and we're gonna bring the booty up off the floor. We wanna stop right about here where everything's nicely lined up. And then we wanna give the booty a nice squeeze and then drop it down. Push the booty up, squeeze. And we can make this as difficult as we want, even though we don't have any weight, because we really squeeze the glutes, then we're really activating those muscles. And they might be pretty dead at this point after everything we put them through, so we need to wake them up. So we're gonna do about 10 of these. Keep going, nice squeeze. Notice I'm holding it at the top. See if you can just get it up a little inch further by pushing through the heels, really squeezing the glutes. One thing we don't wanna do is hyperextend, so I don't wanna see this. You wanna make sure you're kind of keeping the tailbone tucked under and only using the glutes to get up. As long as you're feeling those glutes activate, we've got it. Last one, push the heels through the floor and squeeze and come down. Nice. So we're done with our warm up. We're gonna come to a standing position. Okay, we're gonna get into our first strength circuit and we're gonna start with a body weight squat. So I want you to start with your feet hip width apart. I like the feeling when my toes are slightly turned out. It just gives me a little bit more depth in my toes. So you could try that, but also parallel toes is fine too. create a fist kind of in front of your chest just to create a nice counterbalance as our butt goes back and to create some tension in our core and the rest of our body. So kind of squeeze forward, and then we're gonna drop down at like a 90-degree angle and come back up. Okay, we're gonna do 10 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 more guys, 7, 8, sit low, 9, last one, and 10. Good. So we're gonna come down to the floor onto our stomachs. Come onto your mat, squeeze the legs together, keeping the head up. We're gonna do some Superman retractions, and we're gonna do 12 of these. So a couple things are gonna happen. You're gonna lift your heels, squeeze the booty. Arms are gonna be up, and they should be by your ears. So I want you to think about them being up and trying to get as close as you can to the ceiling. Obviously they're not gonna get there, but I want you to think about kind of activating them up, and then we're gonna pull the elbows to the rib cage, and we're gonna squeeze these up. Legs up, so we're in the Superman position, and we're gonna do some Superman retractions. We're gonna do 12. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, ooh, squeeze, 5, 6, 7, keep going, 8, 9, 10, really pull those elbows in, 11, and 12. Nice. Now we're gonna come back to our seated position for a little core. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do some 360 breathing and add in our pelvic floor activations. This might be a lot, so if this feels like too much, pick one or the other to do. And but if you wanna try both with me, go for it. So we're gonna do a nice big breath, drawing up the pelvic floor here. Nice big breath. It's hard to think of both. It takes practice. One more. And relax. We're gonna go back to the top of our circuit, so we're gonna stand back up for our squat. If that felt easy, feel free to add some weight. Another thing, if you don't have weights with you, that you could do if you want a little bit more of a challenge, is to sit down at the base of the squat and give it like a little pause. So more time under tension in the squat is gonna make it a little bit more challenging. We're gonna do 10 of these again. Ready? Sit down nice and low. 1, push the heels to come up. 2, squeeze the booty at the top. 3, 4, 5, nice. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one. We're gonna hold a little bit at the bottom. 3, 2, 1, up. Woo, nice. All right, back onto the floor for our retractions. See if you can create even more tension by really squeezing the lats as you draw the elbows down. 2, 3, really squeezing the booty. And you can even think about squeezing the legs together so we get some inner thigh work. 6, 8, 9, 10, 2 more, 1, and 2. Whew. I don't know about you, but my booty felt that. Last thing we're gonna do again is that core recovery. Come with me, seated, but try it on all fours if you want to. Maybe we'll do that next time together. We're gonna do some activations with our breath. Ready? Go. relax. Draw the pelvic floor up as we draw the core up. Relax. Two more. Last one. Nice. Okay, we're gonna stand up one more time for the squat, go through the circuit one more time. All right, create that tension in front of you. Let's see if we can sit down a little lower this time. Pause for a second longer at the bottom. Just challenge ourselves. This is the last time we have to do this. Nice and low. Boom, push through the heels. 2, good job. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Crushed it, good job. Come back to the floor, last time for these. Squeeze the legs together, squeeze the heels up, booty together, booty engaged, how about that? And then we're gonna bring the arms up and we're gonna go up and pull the lats down for 12. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, nice squeeze. 1, 2 for 12. All right, come back. Actually, I said I was gonna do this on all fours, so let's try it. Nice big breath. Draw the pelvic floor up as we draw the core in, okay? Nice big belly, and then draw it all in and up. Nice big belly. Big breath. Bring it in, draw it in towards the spine. Core is on fire at the end. Nice. Hear my breath kind of shaking at the end? That's because my core is like, wow, what the heck? Last one. Awesome. With all these breathing things that we're doing, I want you to have a lot of grace with yourself. It takes practice connecting the breath with what the muscle's doing. It's cognitively challenging. It's hard to identify these like new muscles, especially since they're all very weakened. So just continue to practice at it. This time it might not be perfect. Okay, so now we're gonna get into our next circuit. You are gonna need a weight for this circuit, a light weight, something that you would do like a shoulder press with. So think about starting on the lighter side. If you don't have a weight in your house, you can use a water bottle, you can use anything in your house. Anything could be a weight, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and grab my weight and just place this on the ground for later. We're gonna need it for the second exercise. For now, we're going to do a body weight split squat. Again, when I say body weight, this is how I like to start the postpartum series because I remember where I was when I was postpartum and I needed body weight. But if you need a little bit more of a challenge, then go ahead and grab weights for this. So we're gonna come into a split stance, which means one leg is gonna be in front of the other, and we're gonna start with our right leg forward. So I want you to think about squaring off the hips. If your hip flexor's tight, you might even feel a stretch right here. We want enough distance that when we bring the knee down, we make like a nice 90-degree angle, so I'm not quite wide enough. So I'm gonna bring that up, okay? So keep the core really engaged, and we're gonna come up and tap the knee down, just a nice little touch. If you have knee pain, if you come to that depth, just don't go down quite as far. That's okay. We're going for 10, and that's 6, Keep the core engaged. 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. If that felt wobbly at all, feel free to do this near something you can hold, next to a wall, a banister, or anything like that. So we're gonna switch sides. Left leg should be forward now, and we're gonna drop that knee all the way down. Boom. 2, 3, 4, quads should be burning. 6, 7, 8, 9, ooh, last one, and 10. Awesome. I'm gonna have you come to your knee, I'm gonna have you come to your knees for the next one, and we're gonna grab our weight. Want you to reach down, grab the weight, start it underneath your chin, hold on to either side, and then we're gonna press it up and out. So it's kind of like a press, but this is a landmine press. So this should be coming right to the forehead. So I'm actually gonna show you from this angle. We're gonna go for 10 of these. 1. Keep the core engaged here. 2. The only thing that should be moving is the weight. So I don't wanna see any back tension. If you feel like you have to bring the back in, it's too heavy, or your core is not enough engaged. 7, 8, 9, one more, and 10. Great. So next we're gonna come to our back for another core exercise. I'm gonna have you lay all the way flat on your back, like very similar to when we did our glute bridge. So lay all the way down. Again, like when we did our glute bridge, I want you to get rid of that curve in your spine. So keep the core engaged. We're gonna lift both legs up. We're gonna do our 360 breathing here, but as we're breathing in and drawing the core in, we're gonna tap a heel down. So it's gonna look like this. I'm gonna demonstrate once, then we'll go through it. Okay? So we're gonna alternate sides. Ready? Start with the left. Don't let the spine come up. Nice big breath. If the spine is coming up, or if you notice any coning in your abdomen, then this is too much. If this is too much, just sit here and let's do our 360 breathing instead, or don't lower the heel down too far. Just try that. Okay, so there's a couple different options, but as our core is recovering, we don't want to do too much. Two more. Awesome. So we're getting up off the floor, which I have not demonstrated this yet, which is my bad because I should have. We need to be careful about how we're getting up off the floor, especially if we have diastasis recti, but because our core is weak. Anything that's a crunch is probably a little too much for us, so you don't want to get up like this. So I want you to roll to your side, push up this way, and then you can get up however you want to from there. So we're gonna stand back up and we're gonna go into our body weight split stance. Feel free to add a weight if you want it, or again, you can hover for a second. It's gonna make it a little harder. But let's start with the right leg forward. Make sure you have enough of a distance between the feet that when we bring the knee down, we're at a nice ankle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, last one, 10. Good, we're gonna switch sides. 1, 2, keep the core engaged. Make sure the hips are squared off, pointing the same direction. If our hip flexor is tight, ooh, we might do that, we don't want that. 4, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Good. Come down and we're gonna go back into our landmine press. I'm gonna show you from the angle. Make sure that the core is engaged. Squeeze the booty. And 1, 2, extend all the way out if you can. 3, 4, 5, keep the core tight. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. Good job, guys. Everybody come to the floor. Remember, if this is too much combining at once, which is very, very fair, just focus on practicing the 360 breathing, or you can lower the heels a little less. Lift them up, make sure the spine is pressing into the ground, and I don't want you to lose that. If you lose it, that is too much and not safe for our core, okay? Last 2. Last 1. Awesome. Get up safe. We're going to do that one more time. All right, let's start with our left side this time. Why not? Bring that knee all the way down. 1. Push through the heel to come up. 2, core tight. 3, 4, don't forget to breathe. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Switch sides. I don't know why I was moving back and forth last time. I really didn't need to do that, but different angles. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Good. Come back to that kneeling position. Core stays engaged. I'm actually squeezing my booty too. And then you're gonna bring this straight up, right to your forehead and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, whoo, 10. Shoulder tone coming at you. We're gonna do those heel drops for the last time. Push that spine into the ground, engage that core, lift the legs up. Nice big breath, drop the heel, and bring it up. Big breath. Big breath. Big breath. Control the heel as you come down. Last 2. Last one. Whew, nice, good job guys. We're done with the strength portion. The only thing left to do is to do a little bit of a cool down just so that our body feels really, really good after. I hope you guys feel like kind of awakening some muscles, our core is nice and engaged, everything's functioning. Now we're gonna take care of our mobility and just stretch everything out. So I want you to start with a 90-90 stretch. This is one of my favorite stretches. Anytime your hip's tight, go to. I'm gonna move my weight a little bit out of the way. But you're gonna bring your front leg, let's start with our right, to a 90-degree angle. Back leg to a 90-degree angle. And I want you to square off your shoulders over this front knee, and we're gonna rock our body forward. Whoo, that's tight. I hope you're not as tight as me. And back, and forward, and back. If you notice your knee wants to come up, mine kind of does, you can gently apply some pressure with your hand just to kind of keep it down. If you're super tight and it wants to rise up, it's just the goal is to kind of get the knee down towards the floor. And we're just rocking forward and back. You'll probably feel tightness as you lean forward. It should kind of be in the glute med, back of the hip area, and then you might feel it in your hip flexor as you lean back. We're gonna do one more forward, one more back, and then whoop, we're gonna switch sides. So left leg at that beautiful 90-degree angle, right leg back, and then square off the shoulders. That's the key. If you stay here, it's not that hard. Whoop. Keep those headlights beaming forward, if you will. So lean forward. Whew. Not as bad for me on this side. What about you? Feels so good though. We carry a lot of stress in our hips. Our whole body is just sitting on our hips all day. So of course, they're gonna get tight. And we also just squeezed a watermelon out of them. So they're not happy with us right now. Let's give them a little love. Couple more. Next, another fave is the butterfly stretch. You probably used to do this in PE. We don't have to necessarily flap our wings like we did in PE, but you can if you want to. So I want you to pull your heels in, pull your feet together, and then we're pushing the knees down as much as we can and leaning the body slightly forward. Okay, so if our knees are all the way up here, maybe we don't bring them in quite as much and try to get them down, but we're gently applying pressure. If you want, you can actually apply pressure, but push those down and draw it in, and then bring the chest forward slightly if you can, okay? Yours might not look like mine, and that's okay. Hopefully it looks a little better than mine. Honestly, I'm pretty tight. And we're just gonna hold here, take some nice deep breaths. Be kind to yourself. It's so amazing that you took this time to take care of yourself. And everyone is gonna be better off from this time that you spend. Okay, last thing we're gonna do is a child's pose. Ooh, it's a little love to your body. I'm gonna have you come to your knees. And a couple things with the child's pose. I like to have enough of a gap in between my knees that I really allow my hips to like kind of fall into it. And I'm gonna give you a couple cues while we sit in here. So I want you to really reach out the hands like you're trying to pull yourself across the floor, so that we not only get that stretch in the hip as we sink our hips a little bit deeper, we're also stretching out our lats here. Whew, it feels so good. So let the head sink in between the arms, and we're gonna reach the arms over to the right and feel that stretch along the left side of our body. Whew, that feels so good. Back to the middle and then to the left side. Sit the hips a little deeper. Lean as far left as you need to feel that stretch across the right side. Back to the middle. And come on up. Awesome job. I'm so proud of you. Please join us next time. I'll see you then.